After load order data into jQuery DataTables, under this React point of sale application. Now we have moved to create new order functionality, so first we want to make basic AddOrder component under this React point of sale application. So for this, we have goes into frontend directory, and goes into source directory, and then after goes into components directory. And under this, we have to create new file, with name like AddOrder.jsx file. First we have to write import statement with React, and the essential hooks like useState and useEffect. Hence here, we have laid the foundation for a fully dynamic, real-time point of sale order screen, which is the heart of daily transactions. Next we have to import link from React router DOM. Therefore here, we have enabled clean breadcrumb navigation back to the dashboard, which keeping the cashier oriented during busy shifts. After this, we have to bring in Axios library. Thus here, we have prepared to securely fetch categories, products, and submit the final order, using authenticated API calls. Then we have to import JWT Decode library. Consequently here, we have made it possible to extract the current cashier's user ID from the JWT token, which is required when saving who created the order. Next we have to import Bootstrap 5 library for styling. Thereby here, we have ensured the entire point of sale interface looks modern, responsive, and professional on tablets, desktops, and touch devices. Now we have to declare the main component, with name like AddOrder. Hence here, we have created the cashier's primary workspace, which must be a fast, intuitive order entry screen modeled after real-world restaurant or retail point of sale systems. Under this, we have to write constant array variable, and under this, we have to write categories and set categories array variable is equal to useState function with an array parameter. Therefore here, we have prepared to store product categories, which is fetched from the backend. After this, we have to write constant products, and set products array variable is equal to useStatement function with an array parameter. Thus here, we have set up storage for all available products with name, price, image, and stock status. Next, we have to write constant cart, and set cart array variable is equal to useState function with an array parameter. Consequently here, we have created the live order basket that will hold items, quantities, and line totals as the cashier adds products. In for state, we have to write constant error and set error array variable is equal to useState function with blank value. Thereby here, we have added a way to show validation or API errors in a red alert. After this, we have to write constant currency variable is equal to $character. So here, we have set fixed $character for currency. Next, we have to write constant tax rate variable is equal to 10. So here, we have set fixed tax rate for calculate tax under this AddOrder process. Now we have to begin the JSX return statement. Thus here, we have started rendering the complete point of sale order interface. Under this, first we have to open a React fragment. Consequently here, we have wrapped multiple top-level elements without adding extra DOM nodes. Next we have to render the main page title with top margin. Thereby here, we have clearly labeled this screen as the active order entry point. After this, we have to create a Bootstrap breadcrumb ordered list. Hence here, we have begun building the navigation trail. Then we have to add the first breadcrumb item linking to dashboard. Therefore here, we have provided a clickable path, which is back to the main menu. Next we have to add the current active breadcrumb item. Thus here, we have indicated that order is the current page. Then we have to conditionally render an error alert. So if there is any error occur, then it will display any error message only when the error state is not empty. Next we have to create a Bootstrap row for the main layout. Hence here, we have started the 2-column design, which will be products on left and cart on right. After this, we have to create the left column taking 8 out of 12 grid units. Therefore here, we have allocated the larger section for the product selection. Then we have to create a Bootstrap card for the product catalog. Thus here, we have wrapped the item browsing area in a clean bordered container. Next we have to render the card header with bold item title. Consequently here, we have labeled the product browsing section. After this we have to open the card body. Thereby here, we have started the main content area for products. Then we have to create a margin bottom division tag. Hence here, we have added spacing for category filter buttons. Next we have to render an all category button. Therefore here, we have provided a way to show all products regardless of category. Then we have to create an empty row with ID like dynamic item. Thus here, we have prepared the target container where product cards will be dynamically injected. Next we have to create the right column, which taking 4 grid units. Consequently here, we have allocated space for the live order summary. After this, we have to create a card for the order or cart section. Thereby here, we have wrapped the receipt area in a clean container. Then we have to open division tag for order card header. Next we have to create a row inside the header for layout. After this, we have to render bold order title on the left side. Then we have to create the right side of the header. Under this division tag, we have to render a small green new order button. Hence here, we have provided a way to clear the current cart and start fresh. After this, we have to open the order card body. Then we have to create a responsive table wrapper. Therefore here, we have ensured the cart table works well on the all screen sizes. Next we have to create a bordered Bootstrap table for the cart items. After this, we have to open the table header section. Inside table, we have to start a header row. In first column, we have to define column header for product name. In second column, we have to define column header for quantity. In third column, we have to define column header for individual item price. In fourth column, we have to define column header for line total. In last column, we have to create an empty column for remove buttons. After this, we have to create an empty table body with ID, order item details. Thus here, we have prepared the area where cart rows will be dynamically added. After this, we have to open the table footer for totals. Under this, we have to create one table row. Under this, we have create one table column for display gross total string. In second column, we have to define class name attribute is equal to text right. And under this, we have to write bold tag with ID attribute is equal to order gross total, which we will display dynamic order gross total. And under this, we have to write currency variable, so it will display $currency symbol with gross total amount. After this, we have create another table row tag. Under this, first we have create one table column for display taxes label on create order page. After this, we have create second table column with attribute class name is equal to text right. Under this, we have create one bold tag with ID is equal to order taxes, and under this, we will display dynamic order taxes amount. For display currency icon, here we have to write currency variable. Next, for display net total data, we have to create one more table row. Under this, first we have create one table column with colspan is equal to 3, and in text, we have to write net total, so this label will be display. After this, we have create second table column with class name is equal to text right. Under this, we have create one bold tag with ID attribute is equal to order net total, and under this, we will display dynamic order net total amount. And for display currency symbol, we have to write currency variable. After this, we have to create a centered card footer. Then we have to render a large green pay button with ID order button. Hence here, we have created the final action button that will complete the sale. So here, our order component HTML structure is ready. Finally, we have to export the component as default, with name like AddOrder. Therefore here, we have made AddOrder available for routing, and ready to become the main cashier interface of the entire point of sale system. So here, our AddOrder component is ready. Now we want to add into main app.js file. So we have goes into app.js file, and here, we have to write import statement with component name AddOrder, with path of AddOrder component. After this, we have goes into routes component, and under this, we have create one route component. And under this, we have to write path attribute is equal to /order/add. And then after, we have to write element attribute is equal to open and close bracket, and between this, we have to write open and close protected route, and between this, we have to write AddOrder component. Next we want to add this AddOrder URL into order management component file, so we have goes to order management.jsx file. And here, we have to create one link file, and under this, we have to write to attribute is equal to /order/add, and class name attribute is equal to Bootstrap 5 primary button class. And in link text, we have to write add, so it will make link, and when we have click on that link, then we can goes to AddOrder component page. So here, our basic AddOrder component code is ready, and now we have to check this output in browser. Now in browser, we refresh this order management page, and here, we can see that add button has been appear on above order data. Now we have click on add button, and here, we can see that New page has been loaded in browser, under this React point of sale application. Next we will show you how to fill dynamic product data on page load.